very dope story. One thing that I know that I want to let our audience share: a lot of notable hip hop writers, journalists, artists. They all love and respect your work. You'll see that we'll see you with the likes of the Elliott Wilsons, the Waynos, the Shaheem Reeds. Also, if you follow this gentleman, and we'll be sure to give you his social media, we consistently see you with different artists, or like you'll pull out, as you just showed, you pulled out the Victory Lap CD, and you always have some paraphernalia memories. Recently, you had an opportunity to sit in with 2 Chainz and Ross at their versus matchup that took place in Atlanta, and I seen you had the Vibe magazines, you had the CDs. So when did you start collecting items, or when did you feel like these would be things that should be preserved and were actually a part of history?
Once again, in the household, my grandfather would go downstairs. It was the basement. He had a smoking chair, and he just had crates of records. And there was those album covers like Funkadelic or James Brown. I seen all this art on the wall, all this black art back in the time when you had black lights and the incense burning and the funky naked women and the red, black, and green, like all that. I seen that, and then my grandmother would always never throw stuff away because she was like, everything that's old gonna come back. And she, at the time, she was talking about bell bottoms. And about 5 years later, like, bell bottoms made a return. Like, and so I always kept that in the back of my head, and they always kind of kept things, and I seen photo albums. So I seen value in it in my household first. But then once, like you said, with the Elliott Wilsons, like, I was reading the magazines and these were the names. And while you're reading it, you see credits. You see a Shaheem Reed, you'll see a Daytron Thomas, you'll see, you know what I'm saying, Elliott Wilson, Rob Martin, you'll see all these names. Like, I literally read credits. So not only was the story good, but then I'm like, okay, who wrote this? So then as it progresses and I'm starting collecting magazines, because I'm once again enthralled in the hip hop, and that was our Instagram back in the day. But it was much more. It was me walking to a store like in Highland Park in a neighborhood that I wasn't even supposed to be in, because where I was buying my magazines was really like the back had curtains and it was an adult store. Like while I'm writing comic books and reading magazines, I'm seeing people going in the back like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? but that was what I had to do. That's where I had to get that. That was my Instagram. That was my way in. So to see those names, and I know the words that they wrote, and I seen the work that they put in, I had nothing for the utmost respect for those people. So when social media came around and you had more access to them, I was giving it up. I was paying back all that love that I seen and I read, giving it back to them. And it's just mutual. I call that like karma currency, man. Love is love. And I only got love and respect for people like those people you name.
Can you talk to me